Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this week's video, we will be learning about polynomials. Polynomials are meant for students that are in older grades, but I wanted to experiment with different challenging topics to see if you guys like it. This lesson is going to be more of terminology, so make sure you have a notebook ready. Now, first things first, we're going to talk about the different kinds of polynomials. First things first, there are monomials. Monomials have only one term. This term can be a number, it can be a variable, or it can even be a product of both. And so let's just go ahead and give an example of all of these. So the number can be positive or negative or a fraction, but in this case I just wrote 7. The variable is any variable, can be any variable. This case can be y. And a product of both. Now this means you just multiply both, 7y. As long as there's no addition, subtraction signs, you are good, and it is a monomial. Now let's go on to binomials. Binomials have two terms, not one term. And you can think of it that you're adding two monomials to create a binomial. Now, so there's some really neat tricks. So binomial. Have you heard bi somewhere? Probably with bicycle. So, and there are two wheels on a bicycle. So there are two terms in a binomial. So they have the same root. So that might help you. Now, let's give an example. 7x plus 8, or 7x squared plus 7x. So all of these two numbers have two terms added together. And all of the like terms must be simplified. For example, 7x squared plus 7x squared is not a binomial because this can be simplified to 14x squared, which is a monomial. So you must make sure before you name it a binomial, you simplify it. Now this would be a binomial because those two terms are not like terms. Now let's go on to trinomials, the last one. Now, there's also a neat trick with this one, try. You've heard this with triangle, right? And a triangle has 3 sides. So I want you guys to take a wild guess. How many terms are in a trinomial? 3 terms actually, because trinomial and triangle have the same root, tri, which is 3. Now, all like terms also must be simplified, because otherwise you're just gonna either get a binomial or even a monomial. So, and examples of trinomials include x squared plus x plus 7 or x cubed plus y squared plus 7. But these cannot be simplified more, which is how I know that these are actually trinomials. Now let's give an example, x cubed plus x squared. Now this example is not a trinomial because I can simplify x cubed plus x cubed to x cubed plus x squared, which is a binomial, not a trinomial. Now let's talk about degree. I'm not talking about degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit. I'm talking about the degree of a monomial or degree of a polynomial. Now they're very different things, which is why I want you to note this down. The degree of a monomial is the sum of all the degrees in the monomial. So, let's give an example. 5x squared, y squared, z to the 4th. Now, all of these are multiplying, so it's not a binomial or a trinomial. And we take all the degrees, the exponents, go watch my video about exponents if you want to learn more, and then we get 8 because we add 2 plus 2 plus 4, which is 8. Now, the degree of a polynomial is a lot different. The degree of a polynomial is the greatest degree in the polynomial. Now, and remember, this all is when it's simplified. Now, I'm not just talking about regular simplification. Let's go into an example. First, 3x squared plus 4y cubed plus 2z to the 4th. Now, if we look at all these degrees, we have 4, we have 3, and we have 2, and 4 is the greatest. So, the answer is 4. How about 3x squared, y, plus 4, y cubed, j, plus 2z to the 4th. Now, I'm just drawing an invisible 1, because there's an invisible 1 we don't see. Now, here, we have 2 degrees. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Now, the degree of that term is 3, and if we do that to all of them, we have 3, 4, and 4, so the greatest one is 4. Now, let's go ahead and do a practice problem. X squared plus 10. Is this a monomial, trinomial, or binomial? This has 2 terms. And if we write down, we have monomials, binomials, and trinomials. So we're going to try and classify. So this, as you can see, the root is bi for binomial and bicycle. And there are 2 wheels on a bicycle. So this is a binomial. Now let's go ahead and find the degree of this polynomial. X squared y plus 2z squared plus hx cubed. Now remember, the degree of a polynomial is the highest degree. So let's go ahead and start by the easiest one. This one is pretty straightforward. The degree is 2. Now this one we have to do 2 plus 1 because there's the invisible 1, and then if we add 2 plus 1 we get 3. For the last one, there are all those hidden ones, and if we add them all, we get 3. So then, the degree of this polynomial will be 3, because that's the greatest degree out of all of them that we've added. Now let's do x to the 4th, y plus 3j h cubed plus 6at to the 5th. Now, this is a problem you guys are going to do by yourselves, and I want you to identify and classify what kind of polynomial this is, binomial, monomial, or trinomial, and give me the degree of this polynomial, the degree of the polynomial. You have 30 seconds. Did you do it? Let's check if you got it correct. So first, we're going to identify this polynomial. We have 3 terms. And remember, we have monomial, binomial, and trinomial. The root of trinomial is tri. And triangle, that's the same root and has 3 sides. So that can kind of tell us that this is a trinomial, since it has 3 terms. Now I'm just going to erase this so that I have more room to write the degrees so that it makes more sense and everything. So here, we're going to try and find the degrees of all these polynomials, or all these terms. So I'm writing all the hidden ones that we don't see so that we don't make a mistake and we don't forget to write any of the ones. So we have 4 plus 1 is equal to 5 for the first term. We have 1 plus 3, which is 4 for the second term, and 1 plus 5, which is 6 for the third term. So the highest one, or the greatest one, is 6. So we know the degree of this polynomial is 6. Congrats! You made it to the end of this video. Whether it's you needed help with this concept, you wanted some extra practice, or you just wanted to review, I hope you learned something or you got some extra practice in. It would mean the world to me if you subscribed and if you liked this video. If you liked it. If you didn't dislike it, just tells me if I need to change anything. And don't feel afraid to leave a comment down below with any suggestions for any videos. Or if my comments are turned off, head on to my discussion page, which I will show you how to navigate on quickly with any recommendations that you might have for my videos. Starting from my homepage, click the discussion page. Then you should see an option to add a public comment. Go ahead and type your comment with any suggestions you might have, and I should be able to see it.